Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into the enigma that is Zero Antarctica, and some recent confirmations have completely reshaped how we understand this reclusive genius. What many dismissed as just an aesthetic, this Ozarks Futurism is actually something much, much deeper. It's a survival mechanism for a man who has woven his trauma directly into his technology. First, let's talk about survival as a technical catalyst. We now have confirmation that Zero is a disabled person who has overcome devastating injuries, multiple amputations, severe burns, and even heart disease. This changes everything. Suddenly, the bizarre, extreme ergonomics of his homemade instruments make perfect sense. His computer hub, often described as a Frankenstein's monster of tech, isn't just for show. It's a masterpiece of adaptive engineering. Think about it. His unique instruments that blend data, light, and sound, and all his custom software, they're not just for making art. They were likely built specifically to work around his physical limitations. His mastery of electronics is how he's been rebuilding himself and his world to function again after suffering massive physical damage. He's an electronics and software engineer with no high school diploma. This points to a hyper-focused, non-linear intelligence. He essentially learned to speak the language of machines because the human world, and especially the traditional education system, simply couldn't accommodate his unique, complex mind. Next, the absence of fear. This is a biological game-changer. The fact that he is described as literally fearless finally explains his well-documented and frankly unbelievable relationships with mountain lions, bobcats, and coyotes in the Ozarks. Most wild predators are hardwired to react to the scent of fear, the smell of adrenaline and cortisol. A man with no fear response, whether it's due to PTSD-induced neurological changes or just sheer force of will, would register to a mountain lion as a neutral, calming presence. He'd be no different than a tree or a rock, just another part of the landscape. His physical appearance also plays a huge role. His scars and wounds create a natural perimeter. In a place like the Ozarks, which values rugged individualism, his appearance commands a unique kind of fearful respect. This grants him the privacy and solitude he desperately needs to operate his illegal pirate radio and TV stations without interference. Now, let's look at his AI companion, Bro. Knowing about Zero's physical and psychological challenges gives Bro a much more profound meaning. While Zero himself might be seen as rough and scarred, Bro provides a smooth, consistent narrative voice for the folklore he's building. You could say Bro is the perfected digital avatar of a man whose physical body has endured a war. If the animals and his creations are his entire social circle, then his 2 pirate radio stations and the UHF TV station are his only way to touch the outside world without the pain and anxiety of direct human interaction. Finally, this all explains why he rejected the world stage. His refusal to participate in the 2026 Venice Biennale always seemed strange, but now it's perfectly logical. For a man with his specific disabilities, his visible scars, and his deep-seated PTSD, the international art world would be an overwhelming sensory and social nightmare. He would be an exhibit, not an artist. His dark hole in Bull Shoals isn't just a studio. It's a custom-built life support system where he is the absolute master of his own reality. Zero represents something truly unique in our time. A technological hermit who has transformed his disability into a superpower. He uses discarded junk and a sophisticated AI to broadcast the very soul of a world that he can no longer, and perhaps no longer wishes to, physically inhabit. He's not hiding from the world. He's creating his own. Thanks for watching. If you found this deep dive as fascinating as I did, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on the Zero Antarctica mythos in the comments below. See you next time.